Okay, I just spilled coffee when I was about to start this video, so I'm a little out of breath. It's not because I'm just about to die or anything, please. Now, I'm going to make a whole video. In fact, I've made one on this where you can look at the performance of airline companies since the pandemic and all of that. But that's not what this is. That is absolutely not what this is. This video is about. Okay, I compared, some companies that have kind of done a little better to some companies that haven't done so well, and I got a whole discussion of how you can incorporate this. But then I have another file called my generic macros that is open. I have a second generic macros open. I have a third file, which is a project finance model, and a fourth file. And note, I'm pressing Control Tab. I was about to say, notice I'm pressing Control Tab. How in the heck could you see that? How in the God? Of course you couldn't see that. What am I getting totally senile now? If you use Excel, this Control Tab that I loved a lot, you used to be able to press Control Shift Tab, it only takes you through one sheet. And then if you go to Google and say, how can I get this Control Tab to work for all the sheets? There's a bunch of people who are starting to moan and say it really sucks what Excel did by taking away that Control Tab and try to press Alt Tab. That doesn't work. That shows you everything. I just want to go through spreadsheets like this, just like I was doing. And so I thought, oh man, that kind of sucks. So what I did was just make a little macro, of course. And let's see if I have it in this workbook. I don't have it in this one. So I'm going to go to my other one. I hope this is the second one. And I've got to upload this. Okay, so you can fix that problem with Excel. And you just go to, what I did was I put this function in. Now you can, God damn it. Just a minute. Shouldn't have sworn. Okay, I'm going to do it just the way you should do it. You make a little macro, and don't be afraid. Don't think it's modern art or some crappy, horrible programming. I called it X Control Tab. You can call it whatever you want. And then you use one thing which is called workbooks.count. And you can go around this. Now you can copy this to your own workbook, to your personal workbooks, if you use generic macro, like I hope you do, but you don't. You can do it yourself. And you can then once you have this is kind of not really necessary, this part, but I left it in anyway. It goes around from all the workbooks you have open, and there's a workbooks.count to do it, and I created a little variable. I didn't define it or anything else. You don't have to define it. You can be lazy like me, and you can define it as the book name. So there's a little variable, and I don't really need this. And then here is the big deal. You need to use a public variable. The reason you need a public variable is you're going to, every time you press the Control Tab, you're going to be collecting this, and it's going to have a new value of what that book number was. So you go around, and this book number can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That goes to each workbook. You can list it out like this. Perhaps I'll do this. Okay, and then you can also show what the number of the book is. So what I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to copy this. Well, let me finish. That was kind of badly structured and designed. Then you can say, well, if you're increasing the book number, and then you put the workbooks with the book number, so you didn't need to define this range here. The reason I did this, so this could be all deleted. And it's such a simple macro. So you just say go to and activate the last book. But if you're greater than or equal to, you'll never really be greater than unless you screwed up like I do sometimes. then you still activate that book, but then you set that book to 0 so it starts to recount. And you could do this kind of backwards. You could make another one that says Control Tab and goes backwards. But for now, I'm going to copy this. So this is all you need. You copy this. Either you use this generic macro or you do it. So I'm going to press Control Tab. And now it says book 1 is generic macros 2. You notice I'm and book 1 is just generic macros, and then here are all the other things. Okay, and it just, now it's doing it each time, which is a pain. I'm pressing Control Tab. You don't see which one I'm pressing. There's a file I really want to talk to you about. And this one is generic macros 2, and I want to put it into this one. And let's edit just something, and then and this hopefully shows you how you can do this. Hopefully I've got kind of the things in different functions. You notice that it's not in this generic macros 2, which is kind of my new generic macros file, and I need the public variable above it. If you want to really put, you can put as single if you want, or as double, or something like that. That doesn't really matter. Then it will be accessible from all the workbooks. And then now you've got to tell Excel. And this is why I have that little initialization thing in. You've got to tell Excel, okay, when you find this thing, when you find Control Tab, you're going to replace the old Excel Control Tab with Control, and then you put a little squiggly thing like this, not like this, and you put Tab and another little squiggly thing, and then it will do it. Now, if you want to be really careful, a little bit longer, but I copied it anyway. So when you're in this sheet, don't forget, I think I didn't put the sheet name. This is the sheet name, the subroutine name. And don't put the brackets in there. I made that mistake too. And don't do that thing I said with the auto close. Leave the auto close alone, because when you try to screw around and change it back and just take away the Control Tab, Excel has a bug in it. Okay? We got to do that. And then I put it in this file called, this module called copy functions. And why don't we take this crap out? Okay, let's make it the whole thing so much more simple. And there we have it. And if you would want to, I think you could press Shift Control Tab and make it go -1 instead of +1 and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we do that. We save this. And then we run it, because when you run it, it runs the auto open. And phew, I thought it wasn't working. There, it's going around all 3 sheets. We got Excel back. We got it back. And it's surprising. The reason I'm making a video on this, it's surprising how much you use this. Now, can I just show you something? You know how to do this. This is kind of a waste, but you know, I just made a new generic macro. So I'm going to unpin this one, and then this one that I just made, let's make sure I've got the right one, because I'm going to screw up. Okay, let's save it, again. OneDrive documents. Yeah, I save it in the wrong places all the time. And then let's just let's go to the open and pin this to the list so we can always access. And you can do this, of course, with your own macros. That's nothing special. And that's enough of that video, isn't it? I think so. I was going to do something else, but screw it.